Hello guys, my name is Sasha. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my TBR jar picks my March reads. This is the second time I've done this and also only the third video on my channel. I started making videos in December and I really enjoyed making the first two videos but took a little bit of a hiatus because I wanted to save up and get a proper camera, which is what I'm actually using right now, which is super cool. I don't really know how to use the camera yet, but I'm sort of learning and going and watching a bunch of YouTube tutorials, but hopefully I actually know how to use it and this footage works. Anyway, so when I did my last TBR jar video, I think I picked 8 books and I absolutely failed at sticking to my TBR. I am typically a mood reader. I like setting a bit of a TBR as a challenge to get through my physical books, but it didn't happen in January and that's okay. But I'm going to set the bar a bit lower, choose a little bit less. I'm thinking 5 or 6 books today, but I must get through them because my shelf is overflowing. I have a whole stack right here that I'll show you. Right there. And then I have a couple of books on my Kindle library. And then I've got another stack here as well. And this is completely full. 3 tiers. Anyways, I'm so excited to be filming this again. I did add a couple new props to my TBR jar, so hopefully I get a couple of the new ones. It is pretty full now that even when I shake it, I don't actually know how much they're moving in here, but I'll try and sort of dig through so we get a bit of a mix of both. Okay, so let's just get straight into it. My first prompt. A book with yellow on the cover. I remember when I first did my TBR jar, I added a bunch of prompts in, all about colors, and I'm hoping that I don't get just a million of the same type of prompts, but this is a good one to start with because I feel like there's a couple of options here. I really also want to go off what I think I'll be in the mood for because I think that'll help me in completing it. That doesn't have yellow. None of those really have yellow. Okay. Is this yellow or is it more like a cream? It's like a yellow key on it. I guess that's more gold. But I actually don't think I have many yellow options. Or I could do As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. I am tossing up between 2 books. I have Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies and I have As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. This is a cozy fantasy, whereas this is a historical fiction. I don't really know too much about either, but I've heard really, really good things and I'm very intrigued. I feel like I'll like both of them. So I think it really just depends on what I think I will be in the mood for. I think I'm gonna go a little bit outside of my comfort zone and actually choose As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. This is by Zulfa Kutu. It is a historical fiction set in Syria and I've never really read anything like that before. I do really, really love historical fiction, so I am trying to read a little bit more of it this year because I know I tend to actually quite like the genre and I'm really trying to, I guess, expand on where the historical fiction novels are set. So I read The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna and that was set in Alaska. And then I read The Fountains of Silence by Ruta Sepetys and that was set in Spain in the 1950s. So this one will be interesting as well because it's a whole different country, whole new thing to learn. I know it's still historical fiction, but I do genuinely really love stories set within a period of history. So I think that this one will be interesting. I don't really know too much about it and I don't really want to. I've just heard really amazing things. I'm actually really excited to pick this one up and there's definitely yellow on the cover. It even has lemon in the title, so I feel like this is a really good fit for the prompt. Okay, let's choose our next prompt. I think I'm going to choose 5, maybe 6, depending on what stack we have. A genre you don't normally read. Okay, so while this type of prompt is really good for getting through my physical TBR, it's not really great for the part of me that likes to mood read. But let's see what we have. Genre you don't normally read. I know exactly what I want to pick for this and it's a bit of a cheeky choice I think because I only bought the book yesterday, but it is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. This is a sci-fi and it's about a girl called Spencer who is wanting to become, I think, a fighter pilot or some sort of pilot, but it's for spaceships, so it's very science fiction-esque. I have only read one other book by Brandon Sanderson and that was Mistborn. That's not what it's called, that's what the series is called. I've read The Final Empire by Brandon Brandon Sanderson. I have the second book up here. I also have The Way of Kings by him here. The only thing I want to check before reading this is whether I should read it in this order or if I should be reading some other books in his universe, because he has a whole universe called the Cosmere, I think. So I just want to make sure that reading this is okay to do. So let me just quickly look that up. It seems as though Skyward might be its own thing. Okay, maybe this isn't actually a part of the Cosmere, because I just found a reading order and this isn't in it. So it might just be a full standalone, which works great for me. So I'm definitely going to add this to my TBR. It's giving Star Wars. I actually love this cover. I'm really excited to read it. It was one that I was shopping with my friend Tegan yesterday, and we were honestly just circling QBD, and I could tell she was waiting for me to finish, but I kept on coming back to this book because I didn't know if I wanted to pick it up, but I did, and I'm so glad I did. So I'm happily adding this one to my TBR for next month. Okay, so our third prompt, I want to go one of the like closed ones because I know it'll be a new one. A new series. That's not what I wanted. Do I have any duologies? Something that's not like a full series. I will also be looking at books on my Kindle library because I have bought a couple of books off there recently, and this also counts as my TBR. So let's have a look. I've got Jade City, I've got Metal Slinger, Phantasma, This Woven Kingdom. I also really want to read that. Red Rising, These Violent Delights. I have a lot of options. Actually, it doesn't have to be a fantasy. It can be a romance. So I'm going to go with When in Rome by Sarah Adams. I've been seeing so much about this interconnected standalone series recently because the third book just released, Beg, Borrow and Steal, and I've just heard such great things about this series, and I really think that I will enjoy Sarah Adams books. I don't typically give contemporary romances 5 stars. I rarely give them more than 4 stars, and that's just because a lot of them I struggle to really connect to the characters. I use them more as sort of like a palette cleanser, but some definitely do stand out more than others. Some of my favorites are by Abby Jimenez. I loved The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Austen, so there's definitely a fair few that stand out to me, and this one I've been seeing a lot of, and it'd be really good to get this off my TBR, although I have a feeling that if I enjoy this, I'll want to get the second and third book. But from my understanding, this is about Amelia, and she is a pop star. I always think of Hannah Montana when I think of pop star, but she doesn't really give Hannah Montana. She gives Miley Stewart though. Anyways, back to what I was saying. This is about Amelia, who's a pop star, and she kind of just wants a bit of a break from her singing career, from touring, from everything like that. And she goes to Rome, Kentucky, and then she meets a guy who owns a bakery, hence the cover, and then I think she falls in love. And honestly, that sounds like a really sweet novel, and it's super short. I think it'll be a really fun and easy book to get through, but I really hope I like it because I'm definitely excited to pick the other books up in this series as well. Okay, I think I'm going to choose 2 more books. So prompt number 4. A book that has been on your TBR for over a year. A lot of them. This is the thing, I tend to prioritize books that I've bought more recently because I think there's a bit of recency bias, so I definitely like prompts like this to sort of keep me accountable and actually getting through older books on my TBR, which I feel like I'm doing an okay job at. Last month I read The Fountains of Silence, and I'm also reading Sorcery of Thoughts, and they have both been on my TBR for 5 years, so I'm trying here. Anyway, I know what book I'm going to choose because it's staring right at me, and it is Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. This is the third and final book in the Hunger Games trilogy. I didn't read the Hunger Games back in the day. I just started reading it this year. I just finished the Hunger Games last week, and I'm halfway through Catching Fire, and I love this trilogy. I'm loving it. I'm listening to it via audiobook, and the audiobook is genuinely amazing. I did watch movies 1 and 2. I don't know how the series ends, and the book series already has just so much depth in comparison to movies, and I really liked the movies, so I'm definitely keen to finish off the book trilogy and then rewatch the movies, and then finally we'll actually watch Mockingjay, which is 2 movies? 1 movie? I can't remember. But yeah, I don't even think I need to explain what the Hunger Games is about, but I'm so excited to read it. I'm so excited. I had a prompt that fit this one in there because this has technically been on my TBR for over 10 years, surely, since I was 12. Long time. So yeah, this is my 4th book. Okay, my 5th and final prompt. Just trying to give it a good shake. I want to choose one of the closed prompts, so I'm going to go this one at the bottom. A book with over 500 pages. Yay! I feel like there's not that many. Got The Dagger and the Flame, like 480 something pages, so not quite. I've got my other Brandon Sanderson. Got Outlander down here. This is a chunky one. This is 800 pages. Oh my gosh. Oh, I've got Arch Enemies by Marissa Meyer, which is the second book in the Renegades trilogy. It's 470 pages. Oh, I know which one. I can't remember if this book was on my January TBR or not, but I definitely didn't read it. But it has to be on this one. So it is Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. This is the third and final book in the Dark Artifices trilogy. I read the first and second book in November and December, and they were both surprising 5 stars to me. I didn't think I would love this series as much as I do because I am an Infernal Devices girly, so I thought that the historical fiction part of that is what I really loved the most. But this is urban fantasy, so it's similar to the Mortal Instruments, which was more like a 3 to 4 star series for me. But this series is so good. I am just a bit intimidated by it because it is quite literally massive. I think this one's also like 800 or 900 pages, about 850 pages. And the ending of book 2 was crazy. It was crazy, and I just have been wanting to be in the mood for it and really give it my full time and attention. But you know what? March is a long month. It's got 31 days. I know I can read this, and I have a really good feeling about it. And then once I read this, it means I can read Chain of Gold. And I've been wanting to read Chain of Gold ever since I started the Shadowhunter universe because I've just heard such amazing things, and especially after loving the Infernal Devices, which is set just before the Last Hours trilogy. Anyways, attention back to this. I am really excited to see where this one goes. I'm not really going to explain what the Shadowhunter series is about, but I love it. It's so good. If you haven't read it and it's kind of just gone over your head because it's got a lot of books in it, please give it a go. It is so good. There's so much found family in it. There's like literally every single genre within fantasy you can imagine, and it is just such a fun adventure. I'm definitely really excited to finish this series and see what happens. Okay, so that takes me to the end of this video. Let's have a look at the books that I chose. So it's a pretty good stack. We've got a couple different genres in there. We have a fantasy, a dystopian, a romance, a sci-fi, and a historical fiction. So no double ups for the genre. I honestly think that choosing a couple less books will hopefully mean that I will get a 100% completion rate. So just for a bit of a summary, I have As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow, which is a historical fiction. I then have Skyward, which is a sci-fi. I then have When in Rome, which is a contemporary romance. I then have Mockingjay, which is a dystopian fiction. And then I have Queen of Air and Darkness, which is a fantasy, a YA fantasy. I'm really hoping there are some 5 stars in here. I'm on a much better track with my 5-star reads this year than I was last year. Last year, I only got a total of 7 5-star reads, which was Crescent City 1 and 2, The Shepherd King duology, both of those books, The Dark Artifices book 1 and 2, and then Belladonna book 1. So there was only 7, and so far this year, I'm on 3 already, which is crazy. So I'm really hoping that I can get some in March as well. I am really excited for these. The one I'm most nervous about is probably As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow and Queen of Air and Darkness. This because it's outside of my comfort zone. This because I'm scared of what's going to happen. But yeah, I will let you guys know. I will keep you updated. I'm hoping now that I have a camera, I can do a couple of reading vlogs as well, and maybe one of them can be around finishing my March TBR, but we'll see. Thank you so much for watching again. I will see you guys soon. Goodbye. Just to put into perspective what my shelf looks like, it is quite literally packed to the rim. And then I have this stack, and then I have this stack, and then my books for my March TBR are just there. So yeah, there's a lot we can work with right now, but I'm absolutely determined to at least start by making sure it's not overflowing. I have to read around 17 books in order for the cart to just be full. So that's a few months away, but I will keep you guys posted on how I go. But it just means I have to complete my TBR. So if you want to see me read any of these books, I will definitely keep you posted on all my thoughts and feelings. Goodbye for now.